Okay, so I am in a fantastic mood because One Piece was crazy good this week. For some people, they're saying, well, what did you expect? It's One Piece, and I concur. How are you guys doing? Welcome back. Brago DA's here. We're here to talk about One Piece chapter 1027. If you don't know where to find a chapter, I can't help you, okay? I just can't. But we're here to talk about it. Another good one, another great one in the books. Certain things that I didn't like, but you know, overall, pretty damn good chapter. So, I recently watched Squid Game. It's been going crazy on the internet. If you've seen it, you understand what I'm about to say. If the Straw Hats happen to take part in that game, how would that go? Because some of those games, man, imagine Sanji and Zoro, Usopp and Luffy, Nami and Robin, that would be insane. Not gonna spoil, if you know, you know, but if you don't know, you just sub to the channel, because then you will know eventually when I'll talk about it at some point. And if you do know, we here. So then you just sub to the channel because we here. Drop a like as well, turn on post notifications. Now, One Piece chapter 1027. Okay, the story's trying to drive this point home. What point? Well, the point is Kaido and Luffy, they're on the same level for the most part. And they're comparing it, even though it's a loose comparison, to Roger and Whitebeard. And they're not talking about direct strength. They're more so talking about the fact that the clashes cleared the heavens. This is somewhat continuing the narrative about Luffy and his crazy growth, and it's showing that Luffy is indeed on that level, on that tier, at that point where he can equally clash with Kaido to the point that the skies are clearing. This is adding to Luffy's legend. Now, for the past week, I'm sure you've seen several videos, maybe too many, about people talking about Yonko level, what it means, how Luffy got there, how he will get there, why he isn't necessarily there, and that just comes with the territory, okay? It's One Piece. For topics like that, it's going to be a popular conversation. But so far, there are a ton of things you can say as to why Luffy isn't necessarily there, especially how we got here. Right? Kaido and everybody he's fought in comparison to Luffy, it's not really a fair scale, but what the story is telling us right now is that Luffy and Kaido, they're both on their last leg. So when you think about that, what do you think about? I think about the end, meaning the end of the fight. And as the story, well, as the chapter goes on, it kind of tells us, you may think you have a lot of time in this fight, on Wano, in this final battle, but you don't have as much as you think. And that was my main takeaway from it. I don't have as much time with the story that I think I do. People have been asking me, Brago, do you think Luffy is Yonko caliber? People use Yonko level. Even if some people feel like it's not justified and Luffy has a ways to go till he can actually defeat someone on that tier, on that level, I think it's clear that he is. He's in the door. He's in the conversation, and that's something we're going to respect, okay? I'm not going to have it here. For the longest, because this is a different conversation. Whether or not Luffy's Yonko caliber as opposed to whether or not Luffy is a Yonko. For being a Yonko is not necessarily about just physical strength. That is very important, as we're seeing now, but it's not the only thing. It's not the end all be all. Are you Yonko caliber? Strictly about strength, strictly about ability, and Luffy's abilities, I think, matches up, but there's several drawbacks that we can't really look past at this point. Once he overcomes those, I think there's no question. We have to understand, Luffy has always had the requisite strength to be on that level, to be on that tier. Everyone he's fought, when he got to Gear 4th, he overpowered them. Katakuri had overwhelming strength. Doflamingo was very powerful. One kick, it leveled the entire building. But Luffy was stronger, physically stronger. When Doflamingo was fighting Luffy, he didn't say, oh my god, you're so weak, I'm just gonna beat your ass. No, he said, Gear 2nd is too weak. Gear 2nd doesn't pack enough punch, and Gear 3rd was too slow. So that tells you that Luffy has the capabilities to land a fitting blow, and that's what Gear 4th was. But the drawback, once that's taken care of, he'll be on another level. Now, something important as well, the flow has completely changed Luffy's trajectory. I mean, I think the flow of Haki, Conqueror's Haki coding, is completely altered Luffy to the point that now he can compete. Now he can hurt Kaido. And in my opinion, Luffy learning the flow is going to help other things. Because what if he combines Conqueror's Haki coding with a Gear 4th? How devastating would that attack be? Now, I think the margins are a lot smaller because of how much Haki Gear 4th uses, as we know. How much can he actually control in regards to the flow? Because that's important, right? Again, the story is telling us Luffy's on that level. Luffy's on that tier, so we got to stop saying he isn't. What's the story telling you? It's telling us that. Even if you don't think he deserves it, even if you think, well, Luffy can't be, it doesn't matter. He's here, right? It is what it is. It is what it is. Okay, now let's move on to the other parts of the chapter. I just wanted to elaborate on some Luffy stuff because, I mean, it's important, okay? It's a highlight of the chapter. It's driving the point home that Luffy is here, and he's here to stay. Momonosuke. People are not liking this version of Momo. This version being the adult version with the mind of a child. And I'm confused. I'm not gonna lie. I'm confused. I had to go back and take some time to understand, okay, is it me, right? Am I tripping? Am I the one that needs some therapy? Because last time I checked, Momonosuke right, is a kid in an adult's body. So even though you transfer a kid to an adult's body, he still has the mind of a kid. Yes, he has some grown-up responsibilities at this point because he has to save his country, but he's still a kid. He just got into this new body, still trying to figure things out. Give him some time. Based on everything Momonosuke has already done, he isn't granted that leeway to talk through things, to work through things. This is a high-pressure situation. He is expected to do something great, not good, great. Figure it out. Kaido can do it. You know how crazy that scale is? So I just want you guys to understand what Momonosuke is dealing with, and again, his character growth from where he was. We just saw a couple chapters ago, Luffy's riding his back. His eyes closed the entire time. When he heard it was Kaido, he opened his eyes, even though he had a fear of heights. He's growing. Don't judge him as an adult just because he's in an adult's body. We know the context. We understand the situation. Let's not be disingenuous. Right? Like I was talking about before with Yamato and Kaido, the effects of that battle is starting to show. Where Yamato was trying to compete with Kaido, and we see how bloodied she is. She's really battered and bruised. And as strong as Yamato is, that we all acknowledge, because that's become a topic of conversation recently for whatever reason, that people hate Yamato because they don't want to acknowledge her strength. And people may be right, that some of it has to do with the fact that Yamato more than likely will be a Straw Hat, even though in this chapter, Yamato has a nickname, which is a bit odd, right? It gives friend vibes, friend zone vibes, not the immediate family vibes, not Straw Hat vibes, but friend zone vibes. The Shirahoshi nickname, I don't know. You gotta wait and see. But he needs some time. Give him some time to figure it out with Momonosuke. But Yamato, she's imperative. What her entire role is going to be, I'm not sure. It seems like at this point she's assisting and aiding Momonosuke, which he needs it. But her jumping in to protect him, I mean, I don't see them separating again. She even said it. Yeah, I'm sorry that we got separated earlier. I don't think she plans to leave Momonosuke's side again. And Momonosuke, I think he's a long shot to join the crew. So in that case, I'm starting to think Yamato doesn't join. The nickname, the dialogue with Momonosuke, she might just stay here. He might be stuck with Carrot. At that point, I don't want anyone. At that point, bring Fortrix and Hamlet with us. At least every chapter will be interesting. I don't hate Carrot as much as the regular person, the average One Piece fan, well, not even the average, the people that I know, because I think most fans love her because she finished really high in the voting polls, the global One Piece character voting, right? So people don't hate her. I don't know, man. I don't know. I'm not going to elaborate any further. Kaido's cool. Yamato walking Momonosuke through just conjuring clouds. It's important because Momonosuke, when he transformed back then with Luffy, it seemed like he wasn't all there. Wasn't all the way there. So now he's getting an actual lesson. He's aware and he's like, oh my gosh, I can fly, which Yamato is explaining the process. It's almost like when they explained Doflamingo, how Doflamingo was able to fly, attaching the strings to the clouds. It's like, well, you're conjuring flame clouds. You're just stepping on them. So I like that. I like explanations for things. Even though we're in such an elaborate series like One Piece, when we can get explanations as to why things are happening, it's smoother, right? It goes down softer. It's like good wine. Even though Momonosuke is just able to summon flame clouds, even though he's considered a failure, at this point you have to really question what that really means. Failure? Really? He's doing a lot for a failure. Damn, I want to be a failure too if I can be that. Flame clouds? This is impressive, not gonna lie. It seems to be dire straits though, because apparently Onigashima is falling apart. So at this point, Momonosuke has to do what he has to do pretty quickly. Like 5 minutes quickly. And the thing is, he still hasn't tested things. They were hinting about Kaido's strength right now. That's why I was talking about the end game and how it feels like we're approaching the end because they talked about Kaido. They didn't explicitly say this, right? But because of how unstable the flame clouds were, they were saying, well, Kaido's probably getting weaker, which I thought it was a passive ability. I just thought he put it up there, just didn't think about it. He's thinking about it because the fact that he's getting weaker and it's becoming more unstable is telling the entire story. So now they're in a quandary. If we take out Kaido too soon, well, if we take out Kaido period, it's going to fall on the capital. But if we don't take out Kaido, it's going to fall on the capital. So what do we rather? Of course, you'd rather take out Kaido and stop it. But right now it's about one thing at a time. So you take care of Onigashima. Make sure he doesn't crash into the capital. Then you take care of Kaido. It can be vice versa because you just don't have the time. I like Yamato's explanation, giving us more context, giving us raising the stakes, saying, well, you can try to run away, but Onigashima is like a huge bomb. And pretty much it would obliterate everyone. So now we have a decision to make. We'll get a bit deeper on Sunday, but gotta talk about Zoro versus King. Entertaining. I do think what I didn't like is the fact that King's mask had already been cut off screen and he has a tattoo. It seems like we saw his face at the end of the chapter and it seems like he's dark skinned, darker tone with white hair, which in a way kind of makes sense as a Lunarian. But of course, people are jumping into the power scaling of Zoro versus King and how people look, who looks impressive, which I get that. But I don't think now is the time. I don't think we're there yet. I think it's just some fleshing out where Oda is going to use King as a catalyst for things to come, right? He's a Lunarian. He's the last of his kind. And we need some backstory because he could be connected to so many different things, and we need that. So let's say Zoro had the requisite strength to take out King pretty easily, which I don't think he can because King is a Zoan. He's shown just how strong he is. Oda would not let it happen because things have to be aligned, things have to be put in place. But no, I don't think Zoro's gonna make light work of King. The story's telling us as much, that King is really damn strong. Zoro blocked Kaido's ear slashes casually. King's sent him flying. Not saying King is stronger than Kaido. That's not what I'm insinuating here at all. It's just that for certain attacks, we're not sure what to expect from King at this point. With Zoro falling off and using Clear Lance, I think that was spectacular. That was so dope to me, but I'm hoping we get more of Zoro versus King towards the end. I felt like I was being pulled out of the immersion because of how far the fight has progressed. So there's going to be numerous speculation about King and his race and who he's related to, his hair, all these different things. But I think the biggest W of this chapter is the fact that no break next week. No break next week so we can, talk about all these things and expect another chapter same time next week. But guys, give me your thoughts. How do you feel about all this? How do you feel about Luffy and his Yonko level, Yonko caliber, however you want to classify it? How do you feel about King versus Zoro? And how do you overall feel about the chapter, man? Because I feel like this one was a banger, right? So give me your thoughts. Make sure to like the video if you did. Subscribe to the channel for more content like this. Also, if you guys are bored, if you don't have anything to do, I just did a reaction to Ohara's Amazing Theory Part 2. So if you have some time, you can check it out. Be in the link in the description box down below. Thought it was a good time, so you can check that out. But guys, again, like and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.
Okay, I start doubting me, I felt lost.